Hello. What up? What's going on? Follow me on all social media outlets at Billy Nation. Billi, not Y. It's almost like be careful what you wish for. So for me, right now being single and wanting that male attention, I'm like, yeah, I'm all for it. Pay only me attention, be all about me. But until I get that, it might be overly too much, where it's just kind of like it comes off a little bit controlling and abrasive, where I'm just like, I don't want this much attention, but it's just like, isn't this what you said you wanted?
Yeah. So how do you think dudes are supposed to understand like that very fine line between giving you attention and not giving you attention? Because it just seems confusing, right? Like you want something, but then you're saying, but once you get it, you might be like, right? So like try to help me understand, like how do we deal, like as dudes, how do we deal with knowing that kind of layer of confusion exists with it?
Well, I think just like anything, you just have to kind of like know what you're dealing with. So I always recommend that people become friends first. And sometimes it's kind of hard to cross those lines once you have established like a friendship with someone. Mm-hmm. So there's this guy that I kind of was really feeling a lot. And I'm like, oh, of course I want things to expand. But as I got to know him more, there were certain things about him that I just was like, like, I don't want this at all. And we're still able to become, friends. We're still able to like communicate and still have a friendly relationship. But I think when you go gun ho into a relationship, there's no way of telling, what's too much and what's not, because it's all kind of like a mind game. And I hate to say this, and I hate that this happens in dating, but you just never know what you're getting into until you're already into it. So I always recommend that people become friends first. So you get to know that person. And when you kind of break down who they are as a person, you kind of fill them out like this person's really indecisive or this person's really clingy. And it kind of just molds you to know either how you're going to deal with them or if you even want to deal with them on that level at all. So, I mean, there's no way to really get around the whole, I know I'm hot and I'm cold and you're supposed to understand this about me. Telling you have to be very vocal in relationships. This is becoming too much. Is there a way that we can work on this? And it has to be a way that you guys can communicate and the other person take in what's being said and not get like offended, like, oh, I'm loving you too much. Oh, this is a problem. Like, no, it's not a problem, but it's making me uncomfortable.
So I'm following you, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Here's where my confusion is, right? Because, if you think about, the way that you describe that, you're single now, but you would love someone to be all about you, right?
Yes.
You would love
most girls.
You would love someone being all about you, right? Mm-hmm. But then there's also The numbers are not adding up. If you look at her and you are not ultimately satisfied and happy, and there's always things that you can work on, right? There's always things that you can work on. But if there's evidence of infidelity, evidence of integrity issues, evidence of just being a piece of shit person, and you feel like you can solve that, and you at being 22 years old, you're going to be with that same problem at 80 when there's some deep-rooted shit that needs to get worked on, right? And you think that business is going to work out. How many best friends have you kept your entire life? How many long-term, people break up all the time and stop talking to each other. So in order for all of that to make sense and to walk in front of a lawyer and say, yes, I want to be best friends with this piece of shit for the rest of my life, and you not be 100%, even thinking from a financial perspective, right? Like, and I know there's some dudes who comment on this channel and talk about, I don't care if she, has a corporate job or works in McDonald's, I don't give a shit. I don't feel the fuck like that. I feel like, when you consider a business decision of tying someone to you, there needs to be a consideration of what are her goals? Where is she going financially? What does that look like? What does her debt look like? What are all the, right? Like, how does she handle money? Does she still live at home? Is she out buying Louis Vuitton and such and put it on a credit card? And right, these are all things that you need to consider, because I'm telling you, they will bubble up later on.
So do you think in our day and age of millennials, do we settle based off of
culture?
What we see, what we see on social media, what we see the next person doing? Do you think we look at it as I don't want to say social media, or not social media, excuse me, marriage is like the next biggest come up. Like, all my boys are doing it, so I gotta do it too. Oh, my girls are doing it, so I gotta do it too. Do you look at it like that?
Listen, hashtag relationship goals. There's not a hashtag singles goals. Strong family unit, which raises strong children, and then they have, and then those strong children become strong adults, and then they raise strong, and then the culture cycle.
I like it,
and I appreciate it a lot. But like, still at the same time, there's a lot of women that would think, no. Like, even when we first started in the word submit, I think there's a lot of negative connotations to the word submit. But what do you think about it?
The moment I hear submit, I feel like power is taken from me. Like, I think of like being a submissive woman. It's great, but like, what are you submitting? You know what I mean? Like, and how are you doing it? And I feel like a lot of men would just be, no, I want you to do and say how I want you to do and say it. Like, I want you to be my woman. You do things the old tradition way or whatever. I feel like a lot of men think like that. I have this male friend, and he's like that. And I'm like, do you need a child? Like, do you want somebody who you literally like can tell them what to do and how to do it? Because he wants a woman like that. And I don't get it. Like,
yeah. And there's a lot of power in different words. And the word submit, I think it's just been so many people have taken a hold of that word and confused it. Like they've turned it into something that it's not what it used to mean.
It comes up really negative to me.
And it does. But to your point, you have met someone that uses that word and you're like, what? But he's not a leader. He's not someone that you would want to follow, because a real man that would want you to submit would do so with your best interests in mind, and is not trying to pull one over on you or be a liar or just take away your power, like take away who you are, your individuality.
Right.
They're not trying to do that. But like in any like relationship, I feel like there has to be an ultimate decider. Like there needs to be, and it could be some things that you do good. There's some things that I do good. Like, you know, there has to be an ultimate decider, you know, based on your strengths and your weaknesses. Mm-hmm. But if it comes to here, then there should be an ultimate decider. And historically, biologically, it's the man.
So I personally, I want my man to be the leader. Like, I want him to take charge, but also like teach me, but be willing to learn.
I can see that, you know, guys have a different drive,
mm-hmm.
you know, and, you know, being entrepreneurial and having their own money is really important. But I think that for women, like there's a lot of women that are very business savvy and driven and entrepreneurial as well. So
yeah, I understand that as a man, we have certain privileges that y'all do not. I understand. I can walk down the street at 11 p.m. at night and feel relatively safe, depending upon the city, and y'all can't, right? Like there's certain privileges that I understand that I know. But the thing is that we will never be 100% equal, ever.
I do have my own, and I don't have to be dependent. However, I do understand a level of submission.
Right.
You know, you have to have some qualifications.
So you feel like some dudes are entitled for that status? Like they feel like because they were born
male
with a Y chromosome, that they are entitled to receive that type of respect.
Yes, there are males that do feel that way and will try to project that authority, I would say, quote unquote, on like a woman, giving respect and his level of integrity. That's really important. Being a person that is what you say and who you are, and that's like super important. Your integrity is super important, and if you are respecting me, therefore it'll make it very easy for me to respect you as well.
Do you feel like you're good at delineating true respect and respect that he knows will make you think that he respects you?
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get this music out of here. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. What's good, everybody that's down into the building? What's good, everybody that's down into the building? I see almost 700 that's down into the building. Guys, do me a favor and hit on that like button. This day is a little bit odd. Shout out to everybody that's able to make it today, because I usually live stream on the weekends, but I think that this is a very appropriate situation to go live ad hoc to kind of address some things that's been swirling in this particular space. But shout out to everybody that's down into the building. Thank you for coming back for one more live stream, for one more again. All right, guys, do me a favor again and hit on that like button. We'll wholeheartedly appreciate it before we get this conversation started. Mods that are down into the building, you guys are on high alert today. We got to conduct ourselves appropriately. So I expect appropriate behavior. Shout out to everybody again that's down into the building. Guys, hit on that like button for me. We'll wholeheartedly appreciate it. Now, let's get into a couple of quick things before we get this particular stream started. Let me get into how this stream is going to go so I can set you guys up with the appropriate expectations. Now, I did a community chat post early in the day today, an open invitation for Mike Rashid to come on and to have a discussion. And if he sees that message, to send him messages on his places of business, the social media, to see if he's able to come on to conduct a conversation so we can have a meeting of the minds. But the open invitation is there. If he's not able to join, if he doesn't come into the stream, what I'm going to do is to do a live reaction to his recent last response directly to me. You understand me? And I think I've learned a couple of other things within this particular situation that I wanted to illuminate. I wanted to shine additional light on. I see that there's a lot of different opinions that are down into the space. So I think it's important. And I'm going to explain exactly why here in a quick second. But again, open invitation. If anyone knows him personally, feel free to send him the link. Would wholeheartedly appreciate the conversation. All right. So again, before we get started, again, hit on that like button. Show me some goddamn respect. All right. But I'm going to paint a quick picture for you guys just to help you guys understand the story of everything of what it is and what it's amounting to up to this point. But let me also give a shout out to all of the co-creators that are down into the space. Let me give a short shout out to all of the dudes that are generating the men-focused content within the sphere that are helping us grow and excel. The work that you guys are doing is not sight unseen. Okay, the work that you guys are doing is not sight unseen. Shout out to Dr. BOA. $50 super chat. I appreciate that. Just as I'm saying that, my brother, just as I'm saying that. But again, it is not sight unseen. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. You guys are doing phenomenal at the things that you guys are doing. So I just wanted to quickly tell you guys to keep it up. And I think that it's very important that we hear a diversity of opinion when it comes to these types of topics, all in the idea to help men on their path in life. Value added, success driven, results oriented. Okay, I think that it's very important. Shout out to Dr. BOA and shout out to everybody else that's super chatting. I can't get to everybody because I want to make sure that I'm still cooking. Okay. Shout out to Bernard Riley. I appreciate the $50 super chat. Another content creator that's down into the space. Shout out to everybody. Again, a diversity of opinion is absolutely needed. Okay. Diversity of opinion is absolutely needed. I've done a couple of reactions to the Mike, 2 reactions to the Mike Rashid situation. And that's one of the things that I highlighted on, in a sense that the idea behind RP is a little bit different from content creator to content creator. So I think that it's good to have a holistic perspective of the different options that are down into the space. Shout out everybody again. Thank you so much for the support in the super chat. So let me continue to paint the picture for you as well. And also shout out to Kevin Samuels, who, if you look down into the space, he's seen as the leader. Because, look at the numbers that he's able to produce on his channel. So there's been a lot of things that's kind of happened in the space. And I would say it kind of started at the viral video that he did, the average at best video, and then it blowing up and then it hitting a component of mainstream media. What has also happened within that time as his ascend was happening, the opposite end of that coin, okay, you guys know what I'm talking about, D-Jax, fell miraculously. Okay, so these two things were happening at the same time, and it's serendipity to see that those two things happen in such a short time frame. And what happened? You saw a lot of subscribers to the D-Jax train drag their bloody carcasses over here, okay, hoping to understand additional information and to understand what is the sphere talking about so that they can get better results in their life, because it was upended, or the result is that a large degree of that content over there was determined to be a fluke. So within that, okay, what has happened? Mainstream media, hip hop media has been reaching out. Okay. Shout out to Joe Buttons. Shout out to Vlad TV. Shout out to No Jumper. Okay. Inviting KS up on the stream to talk about the many different talking points that are said within this sector. All right. And shout out to Mike Rashid. Okay. So this is anticipated. So hear me out real quick. This is not only anticipated, but it's also projected. Okay. Because as more eyes come down into the sphere, all right, and they're saying, damn, look at the numbers that these content creators are doing. Man, I didn't know that male focused content would da-da-da-da-da. I didn't know that there was this many dudes that are looking for information like this, right? So as more eyes are coming down into the sphere, it is opening up for a myriad of different personality types, okay? Enter Mike Rashid, all right? So I'm going to give you guys the background real quick for anyone who's not up to speed. You should all be up to speed, but let's talk about it real quick, okay? Shout out to Dame. Appreciate the $100 super chat. Shout out, my G. Wholeheartedly appreciate that, okay? All right, so enter Mike. Now he goes to the Fresh and Fit podcast. Shout out to those brothers. He conducts a few conversations, I believe. And let me also say this right now, that I have not seen those conversations. Okay, I haven't seen those conversations yet. All right. He conducts those conversations. He then does a follow-up live stream, okay, with one of his co-hosts on his podcast, and are talking about the comments that happen as a result of that original live stream. Okay. I eventually saw that live stream that he did. I did a reaction to it. All right. And I was hitting on a couple of the talking points because from my perspective, it sounded like it's just a dude, all right, that doesn't understand RP. And he was hit by all of these different comments and he didn't understand where it came from. So I tried to illuminate on those things without seeing the original cast. Okay. He saw that. Then he went live again with Melissa Ford, and they did like another hour and a half or something podcast. Right. And then he ended up mentioning my channel specifically. Okay. Guys, hit on that like button. Would appreciate it. All right. He mentioned my channel specifically. I did a follow-up reaction. And I learned some extra things within there. I wasn't aware that he is a pro boxer. I wasn't aware, that he was raised in New York, and he came from where he came from. But I like the things that he was saying, because I think that there's a lot of things that at a baseline level is very important to unleash stories like that within the sphere. These rag the richest story, because there's so many, dudes that are out there, brothers that are out there that can benefit of hearing knowledge and information like that. So I did a response. To it. Here's the thing about that, and I'll touch on it more in a second, is that what this is dope in a sense, because it sets the prototype to a degree of how men should be communicating to men. I think far too often within the space, what's led with is negativity. What's led with is trying to pull cards. What's led with is shaming, insults, or what have you. Just pure competition without the understanding of someone else's position, and then getting emotional over that position and doing like hit pieces and stuff like that. But we'll get into that here quick in a second. All right. So that's where we are right now. I responded to that. And then he did a follow-up direct response. And if he's not able to come on to the stream, we're going to react to that response. And actually, I think he also did a live stream last night with Jessica X. Shout out to her, where he was going back and forth with her. So with that being said, what I wanted to get into first is the importance of the things that I think is important from that I've learned about them, that I think folks in this space can adapt as knowledge. Okay. Because of what I say in my last reaction is that I think that there's some RP essence within him. It just manifested itself a little bit differently. So we'll get into that here in a second as well. So what are the quick things that I noticed? You know, the brother absolutely has a warrior spirit, a warrior's mentality. Apparently he was in prison, okay, for a little while, a couple of years ago, right? The discipline within that, right? But the boxing, fitness, obviously the fitness stuff, right? His ideas around accountability, all awesome stuff. All right. Being a self-made, I would assume multimillionaire. I mean, I got no evidence to prove that, but looking around at the information, I would assume multimillionaire. Looked like he hustled. He got it about the mud, and he did the things that he had to do to become the best version of himself. He's got a winner's mentality, a winner's mindset, and he's clearly intelligent, right? If you sit here and you listen to the way that he describes things, he's clearly smart, right? Like he's not, you know, if he was like an X-Men, I would describe him as beast, right? Because he's a big dude, but he's got some smartness around him. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think without that, also within all of that, there's this degree of respectfulness in the back and the forth. And again, I think that it's important to highlight on that. Okay. I think that it's important to highlight on the back and the forth, because that's the way that men should be having conversations. All right. You guys already know I bring Blue Pill Sam in here, right? I bring Blue Pill Sam here. You guys think that I don't bring him in here for a direct purpose? It's to show that two men can have very different ideas, ideologies about something that's very important and still be friends, still be homies. I mean, shit, Blue Pill Sam will walk in here right now like, yeah, I'm Blue Pill. What's good? I'm a simp. What's good? All right. They call me Mr. Throw It in the Bag. And, you know, you guys already know I look at him like he's crazy. And I'm over here talking about, dog, you getting taken advantage of. And what is he saying? I live in abundance, my G. Y'all already know. You understand me? But I think that it's important to show that we can have differences of opinion, but there still be a degree of respectfulness within that. All right. We can set the prototype for that. All right. So shout out to him and his methodology. Hopefully he's able to come in here today so we can have a direct man-to-man conversation. All right. Now, guys, listen, I'll give you a couple brief thoughts and then I'll get into the live stream right now. But here's what I think. Okay. Here's what I think. Guys, hit on that like button for me. We got 1,400 that's down into the building. Hit on that like button. We'll wholeheartedly appreciate it. All right. Here's what I think. And I said it in one of my original videos. All right. What I said is that I believe that because of what he's achieved and where he's at right now and what he looks like, there's a degree where he has been shielded by his current social status, his monetary status. Okay. He's been shielded for the current modern day. Okay. The current modern day women, because he simply doesn't have to deal with that stuff. All right. So the red pill truths that he listens to, he doesn't identify with because he just doesn't see the reality that we talk about on this channel day in and day out. But here's the thing is that this happens a lot, which is why I think that this is a fantastic case study and to have a conversation with him, because women and men come over here and I see him in my comment section spitting vitriol. Okay. But simply, I think that because of where he's at, there's a lot of these ideologies that simply don't apply to them. So he has like a lot of these like old school chivalrous talking points. And The modern woman today has updated her firmware. Okay. She's upgraded. She's moved from Microsoft 95 to Windows XP, and there's some of them that move to Windows 10. You understand what I'm saying? So within that, it requires, right, men to respond to what it is that they see today. Okay. Like, for example, Mike Rashid is not on dating apps. What? He's not on dating apps. He's not he's not swiping on Bumble, Hinge. He's not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different. He's doing his own thing. So I can understand how this information can hit his eyes, along with whatever he said on the Fresh and Fit podcast. And he's down there and he's looking at the comments like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. Because if you look at what he's accomplished on paper, right? If you look at what he's accomplished, all right, the aesthetics, boxer, combat sports, multiple businesses, successful, all right? Some would deem him as an apex predator, okay? Some absolutely would. Has the pick of the litter, all right? Which the modern man, the modern average man, which is most of us, okay, doesn't experience, okay? Doesn't experience. And I think it's very important to call that out, right? He's not dealing with the normal. He's not dealing with the average, all right? Here's the next thing that I think that happened. All right. And I don't know why I actually called this out in my video, because in my last video, he was responding within the comments. And I'm just like, I don't get why he's responding to the commenters, because I think that, you know, it's probably a non-value added tax to respond to empty names and no profile pictures. You understand what I'm saying? I think it's really not value added. And I think to deem the information that comes out of here with nameless, faceless profiles is not very advantageous for anybody. But I think that when you look at what he's achieved and he's getting on platforms, right? I think that what he expected was for people to side with his relationship information, his relationship knowledge. But instead, he got blue pill, he got simp, and now he's trying to figure out, well, how do we get here? Because I've done everything correctly, but how do we get here? Okay. So, and if anything, I would think that he would actually be an avid supporter within the space, because we're gonna get into it in a quick second as well, because his reaction I'm getting ready to go to, he talks about marriage and his want for it, and I would think that it would be important that if that's what your goal is, to inform yourself of the stats, the statistics, what of dudes who are wealthy like you, what they are up against if she changes, if she switches, right? Because there's been far too many men, they got their shirt taken and ripped and the rug ripped from out of them because they weren't prepared. Okay. So anyway, let's get into this reaction right here. Shout out to everybody that's down into the building as well. Guys, I'm going to spot check down into the chat. If I see he's down up in here, I'm going to toss an invite for the StreamYard. You know what I'm saying? So let me bring this video up and let's go over his recent thoughts. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. Thought I had this up. Give me a second. Shout out to all the super chats, by the way. I'm cooking right now, though. Give me a second. I'll go back and acknowledge them. Hold on. Let me just put this up on the screen real quick. All right. Here we go. All right. Let's get active.
We live, sir.
Wait, hold up. I don't think
Yo, what's up, squad? YouTube squad. What's the deal? It's your boy Mike Rashid, Lions, Owls, Elephants podcast. Don't ask me what it means because I just like lions, owls, and elephants. Anyway, coming in live from the mothership. As you can see, this Dyson sphere behind me. My science heads know what that's about. But anyway, I need to address something. Um, I want to address, been a little bit of back and forth with, oops, I have to get my phone. 'Cause I can't recall this guy's channel, but it's called Mediocre Tutorials and shit. It's a long ass title. Hold up, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. I don't know my brother's name, but um, let me give you guys a little bit of context to this discussion. About 2-3 weeks ago, I was in Miami and I did a podcast called Fresh and Fit. Shout out to Fresh and Fit. Those are my guys. And there was some. I didn't know anything about the red pill, blue pill community. This is new to me, right? So they are a red pill channel. They're probably the number one dating channel on YouTube. This is Fresh and Fit. So they're leaders of the red pill movement on YouTube. Now, so there people in the comment section was just having a field day with your boy because they were throwing out disrespectful terms to me, like, oh, he's a simp, and they were saying he's not red pill, he's blue pill, right? So there's since then I've done a little bit of reading on what red pill philosophy is and listen to other people talk about it, and I understand what they're getting at. However, this is now all you guys out there who have channels and speak on topics of this nature. This is not necessarily directed to you unless the shoe fits. But the people in the comments, right? I read comments. It's fascinating to me. So some people act like they're above reading comments. I'm not. I be down there in the trenches. And I be going back. I'll communicate with people to an extent.
So honestly, if he comes up on the street, that's gonna be one of my first questions. I listen. If I read the comments, you know what I'm saying. I don't even know. You know what I'm saying. I would probably need therapy weekly. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know how he does it. I don't know why he does it. I mean, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. So let's just keep going.
So from the outset, without having any prior information or knowledge on what this community is about, one would think that the red pill community are a bunch of men, typically younger men, that hate women based off of maybe negative experiences or encounters with women, getting their hearts broken, torn out their chest, stomped on, things of that nature. So now I'm not saying that's what this community is about, but that's how it seems if you don't know what it's about and you read comments, right, on YouTube. The people in the comment section seems to be guys who may be awkward with girls, maybe they don't have their shit together yet or whatever, but they don't have things go their way when encountering the opposite sex.
Let me touch on this as well from my perspective, guys. And I've touched on this ad nauseum a few times on the channel. I don't have none of the content creators here can't police the comment section. There's just no doing that. So I try to aim for respective dialogue. I try to aim for, because at the end of the day, my talking points can be shamed if I'm coming at people with pure aggression. It's my way or the highway. I try to see and understand other people's points in order to try to push the conversation forward. But what a lot of people do is that they go down into the comment section and then judge an entire platform of what they can easily read, as opposed to watching the video and coming at it from an objective, unbiased sense. You understand? But he chose to go down in the comment section, which is, you get whatever. You understand what I'm saying? You get whatever when you go down in there. You know what I mean? Let's keep going.
Now, my whole thing was, look, the problem isn't the girls. It's you or me. It's us, right? So you know, and my whole philosophy is this, fellas, get your shit together. You know, qualify yourself. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself in a position to where you have pick of the litter, right? And if you're dealing with a ratchet chick doing ratchet shit, that's on you. You choosing to deal with a lower level energy or vibration or frequency.
So he's talking about accountability right here. You guys already know we push this in the channel all day. And I agree with what he's saying. You deal with a hood booger, you'll get hood booger results. That just is what it is, what it is. But what we do over here is that we make sure that we focus on what is exactly toxicity. What is low energy or bad behavior? Because my contention is a lot of us came from toxic environments, so we can't readily identify bullshit, but we're here to course correct that. Okay, let's keep it going.
So if you don't like that, try to put yourself in different types of social settings. Meet women in different places, okay? And women, this go the same for y'all as well. All right, but anyway, enough about that. We can get into that later, but I've done 2 videos already on the topic. One with Sean last week or 2 weeks ago, and then another with Melissa Ford last week. Now, there's another brother from Mediocre.
MTR.
Sorry.
Jesus.
Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. He made some commentary on the video that I did with Fresh and Fit, right? About the red pill stuff. No. He didn't do a video on that. He did a video on commentary on the video that I did here with my boy Sean, talking about red pill community. Is this what women want? Yada, yada, yada. Right? So I found his video to be, you know, it came from a very rational perspective. It wasn't silly. Some people sometimes on YouTube will gravitate to the lowest common denominator to get traction, to get views, to get people.
Facts. That does happen.
In, you know, for drama. And personally, I don't deal with drama on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I try not to deal with drama at all, right? And when I do see somebody trying to bait me in to foolishness, I completely ignore them, you know? And depending on how disrespectful or not they are, we might run into each other. And then I'll have words with them in person, right? We might run into each other on accident, or we might run into each other intentional, right? It's happened before. So life for me, I try not to take life too fucking serious. I try to enjoy life. However, you know, I position myself in a certain way to where I don't want to deal with too much foolishness, right? And I treat people with respect, everybody. So when people treat me with disrespect, especially in a sense of like YouTube and social media to where they feel we'll never encounter each other, I prove them to be wrong.
Let me address this real quick, because I think there was some folks that were down in the comment section that thought that he was talking about me being disrespectful. He wasn't saying that, but I wanted to address what he said regarding reaching out to other people. I did a video not too long ago where I talked about a particular situation of me driving and experiencing road rage. And one of the things that I talked about within that is that, guys, listen, you can never let low energy people bring you down to low energy. Okay. You can never go out and have emotional responses, because at the end of the day, they're bringing you to their kingdom. Okay. And their kingdom is in the pit of hell. It's in an abyss. If you consider yourself of high quality, high value, you never want low energy, low value people to bring you down into the abyss. So I agree with this talking point there. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I think that this is a healthy discussion to have between the two of us, because it stayed absolutely respectful. All right, let's get back down in there.
Right. So anyway, but however, I will never give energy to that kind of negative attention or negative entity on my channel or any platform that I use. I try to use this for good. I try to use this to have meaningful conversations, let it be productive, let it be some kind of information that could help people, things of that nature. Now, so this guy, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. I wish I knew his name, so I ain't got to say this long ass paragraph.
MTR, Mike.
But anyway, I was not mad at his breakdown of the video. I appreciated it. So, but I did have some comments and back and forth with some of the people in his comment section. I thought I left a comment for him, right? Kind of praising the channel, because I thought I love to see a young black man with some sense, with some intelligence, getting on YouTube, creating their own community and, you know, doing their thing. I
Shout
love
out,
to see
bro.
that. So I support that. I praise that, and I'll try to elevate it and promote it. Matter of fact, his channel is in my description down below. So y'all make sure y'all check him out, because I think he does do some pretty good content. I haven't went through a lot of his videos yet, just the 2 that he did about me, but I did see some interesting things that I do want to go back and look at. Listen, I'm a human, right? And I love consuming meaningful or interesting content, and I see some interesting stuff on there that I like, so I'm going to go and watch it with the topics at least. So, and most of the stuff I watch is on YouTube or Netflix. So there it is. There, YouTube is a valuable source of information. So much shit on YouTube. But anyway, I was not mad at his video review at all. Did go back and forth with some of the people in his comments because they were just
I don't know why.
like, just silly, just foolish. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things that they were saying. So then myself and Melissa Ford did a video on, you know, this whole gender war thing, because I don't think there's necessarily a gender war, me personally.
You know what I think? Like, you know, I think like you ever think of like what successful people do with their free time when they really don't have anything else to do, and like maybe he's so successful he's just like, well, shit, I got time. so he just goes down into the comment section. I would never go down there. It's a hellhole down there. On occasion, on time, but shout out to everybody that continues to post the positivity down up in there. But I do see some stuff down in there sometimes, and I'm like, whoa! All right, let's keep going.
Some people might feel like that, but that's their personal experience, and whether something is real.
And just real quick, shout out to everybody that's down into the building, guys. Hit on that like button for me. We'll wholeheartedly appreciate that. We got to make sure that YouTube shows respect within the algorithm. Shout out to everybody that's coming through and posting the super chats. Kamar, I see you. PMP, I see you. The poor man, another content creator. I see you, my G, doing your thing. Salute MTR. People need to understand it will always be extremists. Those extremists don't represent the norm. RP content can be very beneficial to men if taken with a grain of salt and applied using self-accountability. Couldn't have said it better myself, my G. Accountability is all what it's at the end of the day, okay? And then the extremists don't represent the whole. Ain't no one over here that hates women. Shit. Ain't no one over here that hates women. Shit, I bring women right here to the cast. Shit, I actually did a video earlier today with an old guest, and I have some other shit that's coming up in the future as well. But do y'all really think that women would come here if I hated women? It just doesn't make sense. Like I wouldn't. It just doesn't make sense. But shout out, my G. All right. Before the buildings, thank you so much for the $25 super chat. Shout out to everybody. I appreciate the sponsorship. Let's go back in there.
Real or not is totally up to the individual. If it's real to you, then it's real to you. It is what it is. So I'll never say something don't exist. I can just say it doesn't exist for me, right? Not in my universe, not in my world. So anyway, Melissa and I did a video. We went back and forth, and then I brought up, because that day, I believe that day or the day before, he did a video about me. So we discussed some of the things, you know, and he did commentary on that. I just seen that, like, I don't know, a few minutes ago. Somebody sent it to me. So and I wasn't mad at anything he said.
And let me also comment on that as well. You know what I'm saying? This is why I also wanted to have a one-on-one conversation with Mike, because when he was doing that live stream with Melissa Ford, right? Like that's why men need to have spaces for men to talk about men-ish, because it was difficult in a sense to listen to a few of her talking points, because not only was she kept on cutting him off as he was, you know, getting to a point, but then also there was this probably way less lack of foresight than Mike on, you know, in the particular sector in the space. And she views anybody that has an opposite of view that all women are sugar, spice, and everything nice as incels, as just shitty people, right? That they're just crazy people, quote unquote, is what she was saying. Let's keep going.
He did bring up a point though, because I said in the video that, you know, my life, you know, I trained early on in my life, you know, because I like boxing and I wanted to be strong, this, that, and the third. But over the years, my reasoning for training evolved into different reasons, right? So I started out literally just to be strong, you know, and then I got to a point to where, you know, I wanted to be a little bit bigger, you know. Then I got to a point, the older I got, I was like, you know, I really want to qualify myself to be as legit of a man as possible, right? So training is definitely part of it. But what's more important is training the mind as well, that aspect. And that's something I was on before training my body, right? Your boy was like valedictorian, honor student, the whole nine. So my pedigree with scholastics has been intact for a long time, but as well as the physical attributes as well, because I've been an athlete since I was a kid, since I was 12 years old. And despite all of the ups and downs of my life, there's things that stay consistent. I always focused on bettering myself in every way that I could better myself, physically, mentally, spiritually, you name it. So when I was speaking on that, I did say at some point it was like I want to qualify myself to be a legit man for a woman, for my woman, my wife,
Pay attention.
when I get married. And he took it as if I backpedaled on that, but I did not. I meant that. Listen, from my perspective, what's life about? To me, life's about sex, right? All roads lead to sex. And I'm not saying just for the sake of having sex for pleasure. Every creature on this planet has one common thing. That's to pass on its data, pass on its DNA, to reproduce, right? To procreate. So without us even thinking about it consciously, mostly everything that we do is to qualify us to put ourselves in a position to reproduce. Whether you want to or not, you're programmed for that, right? So when people say, oh, I'm doing...
Let me just help you guys, because I'm not sure if you guys are quite capturing what happened. On the particular stream that I did, he was speaking about why he does it. What is his why? And at first he said for a woman. And then he said, I think he said to be a leader. And I reacted to that because the things that we all talk about is not doing things for women. It's just a little bit of icing on the cake. But what he's saying is that, oh, no, I meant do it for a woman. So now that we're all caught up, let's keep going with his thoughts.
This for me. Okay. What does that mean, right? When you go shopping for some nice clothes, or you working out, or you get a haircut, or ladies get your hair did, or your nails did, it's not for you. You can say it's for you all you want because that's the right thing to do, the self-love thing, right? But reality is you're doing it to attract the opposite sex. And if you already have that, you're doing it to maintain that, right? These are things that are real that people just don't want to deal with. They don't want to say it because it seems vain, right? But vanity is a thing. There's nothing wrong with it. As long as one is not consumed with things of that nature, right? But making sure you're tight on all fronts is nothing wrong with, in my opinion, right? You could do what you want to do. So I do things for myself, but that's for myself securing the things that I want in my life. And one of the things that I want is a wife.
Okay, let's pause it right there. What did he say? He said he does things for himself to secure things that he wants in his life. So this right here is, from me to him, is probably just a difference of opinion, right? Because my why specifically is going to be different than his whys. And that's okay because he's one man and I'm another man. My why is, although I understand what he's saying, people are doing things for sex. People are doing things for relationship. I am not doing things for marriage, for relationship, especially not marriage, but we're not even going to go down that path, but for relationship or nothing like that. What I'm determining my legacy to be is to make sure that I leave this place better off than when I got here. That's for me, which I think is inherently different than his why as he just mentioned it right here. But I thought it was important to bring that up. And I think if anything that he said thus far, that in our go back and forth, I think him leading with that mindset of doing things for a woman, to get it for a lady in his life, is a component of why he might have been labeled blue pill, is a component of why he might have been labeled a simp. But Let's just keep on going.
Right? I want to be married. That's not for everybody, but it's for me, right? And I don't pass judgment on people that don't want that or think that's silly. Whatever you want to do with your life is your perspective.
And here's the thing, I don't pass judgment either. You know what I'm saying? Like I get asked on live stream to live stream, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, what are your thoughts on marriage and this, that, and the third? And I give my thoughts, but I don't shame other men for still, you know, wanting to do it. My whole thing is let them know what it is that they're signing up for. Let them know the results. Let them know the 50% divorce rate. Let them know that women, most of the time, initiate the divorce. Let them know these things. Let them know these things. Don't just go into a situation rose-colored glasses. Be intentional about the contract that you're signing. Be intentional about what typically happens so you can stave those things off. Protect yourself before you go down those paths. Protect yourself, because one of the things throughout a man's life that will lead to the most strife is his interaction with the opposite sex. And if he bounds himself, ball and chain, to a terrorist, that can ultimately take off years of his life. Years, from a financial perspective, from a joy perspective, and all of the above. Okay? So what is it that I'm saying? It's about information. Making the information be known, because from a media perspective, they don't talk about this shit. They don't talk about marriage like this. And in fact, from a media perspective, what is it that they feed to women? You deserve this. Okay? This is your Disney fantasy. And you get so many modern women that want the marriage, want the wedding and not the marriage. You get so many modern men. You get so many modern men that say what? It's cheaper to keep her. Happy wife, happy life. Where's the balance? Where's the balance? There's no balance. And that's what has to be outlined, that there's no balance. Let's keep going.
I have no opinion. I don't care what people do with their lives. But for me, I do want to, it's important for me to qualify myself to be the ultimate father for my children, the ultimate business partner for my business partners.
Yeah.
The ultimate
it's about getting better.
What influencer or whatever you guys consider me as.
Yep.
The ultimate athlete, the ultimate friend. I want to be all my friends' best friend.
And this is such an important message, right? So guys, you know, when we talked about before, what I think that can be leveraged from his talking points, he wants to be the ultimate of everything. And I have this same mindset. Anything that I put my hands on, hold on, let me make this larger. Anything that I put my hands on, I want to master. I want to master anything that I do, that I put my time and energy in. I want to be intentional about being the best at it, learning the most that I can to eke out the competition, to differentiate myself in all aspects of life, to achieve things that folks thought was unable to be achieved. And I think that that's important. Let's get back down in there.
The ultimate man for my woman. I want to be that guy. I don't want a situation to where my girlfriend like, he cool, but he can't even do this or do that, or he don't satisfy me with this, or he's not that smart or whatever. That's not me. Listen, like when I'm in the gym, right? I'm gonna give y'all an example of the type of person that I am. If I see somebody in there, let's say squatting something heavy, it's like it's like the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, and it's in me to go over there.
He's competitive.
Where they are and do more than them. I guess I'm marking my territory, and I've always been like that. I'm just a very competitive person. The most competitive person that I am with is with myself, right? I'm always trying to be better. And I think that there is a lot of virtue in that particular attribute, because you're always ascending, you're always becoming better, a better version of yourself when you have that kind of competition, especially with yourself, right? So being true to yourself and being in competition with yourself to always be better is a virtuous thing, in my opinion, because you're always reinventing yourself. You're always growing. Your aptitude
Be a continuous learner
for whatever field that you're in. All right. So back to what I was saying, my bro. I was saying that I do want to be strong or be this or be that for a woman, for my like the person that I'm going to spend my life with. It's not for my homies. It's not for myself. I don't want to spend my life alone, right? I want to spend my life with her. You feel me? So, and that's my route. Now, this is coming from a perspective of a person that has, it is what it is. I have dated many women in my life, right? I've dated a lot of women, and I was a habitual connoisseur of the opposite
of viscous innards.
And what did that get me? A lot of experience, really dope experiences, but it also made me feel very lonely, right? And I
Pay attention. He had a lot of experiences. It also made him feel very lonely. All right. I want you guys to hone in on that. And here's the thing, to have all these experiences, I think also gives credence to what we're saying, in a sense that where he's currently at shields himself from modern shit. It seals him from the modern shit that we all experience. But pay attention, listen up. I think that this is important.
I've been in some dope relationships, not many, but I've been in a couple really dope relationships. Nothing like it, right? So the relationships that I've been in, I've learned from everyone, and I feel like I've gathered things to make myself a better boyfriend or a better husband or whatever when I get to that husband status. So that's me, in a nutshell. My life is not all about me qualifying myself to be a good husband. The ultimate thing in my life, as of right now, is for my children to, by the time they're adults, to be independent, to not need me, to be productive members of society, and to be happy people. I want to help set them up for them to be happy. Whatever that happiness is, or where they find happiness from, is up to them to determine. It's for them to determine, not for me, right? My job is to guide them and put them in the best position possible for them to achieve that. The children should always, the daughter should always be better than the father and the mother, right? Why? Because it's just like science, how we always advancing the things that we know each generation or each wave of scientists or whatever, or medicine. Your predecessors build up to a particular position, and then you get to start on top of that and keep going. And that's what I'm supplying or applying for my children. That's what I want for them. So that's the most important thing to me, is to be the ultimate dad, super dad, right? But anyway, not gonna hold y'all. I didn't even plan on filming today. I'm working on a lot of stuff, but just wanted to respond to my brother's channel. Y'all check it out down in the description down below. Also, I put a whole bundle of all my training programs together, everything, all the overtraining programs. That link is down in the description box as well. All right, train like your boy. I put it all together. You have no excuse. I'm giving y'all the blueprint.
All right.
Let's
Let's wrap this video up right here. Let me get this off of the screen. Okay. Let me get this off of the screen. Shout out to everybody that's down to the building one more time. Hit on that like button. We should be over 2,000 likes. Would appreciate the support. The more support, the more YouTube respects me and pushes me in the algorithm. Shout out to the super chats that came in. I see you before the buildings. I see you, Shisha Zed. I see you. Thank you so much. Shout out to 23231 Flex. I appreciate you, my G. Okay. I appreciate the what he was saying around, you know what I'm saying? Because I tell you guys this all day. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate my Fridays and my my Saturdays and my Sunday mornings now, as I've gotten into my mid-30s, way more than I appreciated my Friday nights and my Saturday nights out doing this, that, and the third, because it does lead to a degree of emptiness. Viscous innards start to feel remotely the same after you done been in the wide gambit of them. Okay. You understand me? So that's his particular thoughts. I think, like, at the end of the day, what is it that we have here? I think that we have someone that's particularly shielded because he put the cart before the proverbial horse, as I was talking to you guys about in the previous reaction. worked up in on himself with the discipline, suffered some losses within that, but was able to bounce back within it. Okay. Has something to say, right? And then most people on paper will look at him and say, this is the apex of man. Okay. But then he went over to Fresh and Fit. He got hit with a deal of RP reality, and it took him aback. Lord knows why the young man was down up and into the comment section. It's a place that I generally don't like to go. You don't understand me, especially on someone else's platform. You know what I mean? But he went down up in there. And I think like at the end of the day, he took it as an insult because he's done all of these things to become this dude, this highly valuable dude. And then he was just being himself. And the things that he was saying was like nails on a chalkboard to the people that generally visit this portion of the internet. Okay. So at the end of the day, I think that we can't invalidate his experience. His experiences, but his experience is not the modern dude's experience. It is the far outlier because he's in the 1% of dude. It's in the far outlier. So how could we expect him to come up to terms with what the average dude deals with, right? At a foundational level, right? When he doesn't live that particular lifestyle. Okay. I was taking a look at some of the talking points that he was saying on the Jessica X live stream. And it's clear to me that not only can he not see some of the talking points, but he's also been fed a lot of information, right? So maybe this goes to the blue pill mindset. He's been fed a lot of information, which doesn't understand a man's issue, a man's plight. You understand me? Like, we talk about domestic violence, right? Now he had a couple of talking points towards that. If you talk about this paternity fraud situation in the world, right? You talk about false R allegations, right? Which we talk about on a component on this channel from time to time. Issues within the family court system, right? This whole idea of hashtag men are trash or toxic masculinity and all of these kind of things like that, right? The idea that fathers are kept away, used as leverage away from their children, and can do that with the help of daddy government. You know what I'm saying? So the idea of the plight of the average modern man, right? And the average modern man is not even doing six figures right now. When they're hit with the delusion of the modern woman who doesn't respect them for being blue collar workers, right? For being plumbers, HVAC technicians, to construction workers, whatever, what have you. He can't see those particular plights, right? And he doesn't also understand the degree of pander that is happening within the sector as well from a media perspective. Okay, so of course it's going to hit his eyes a little bit awkwardly. Shout out again to everyone that's down into the building. Hit on that like button for me. We should be over 2,000 likes. I wholeheartedly appreciate it. Okay, so listen, at the end of the day, guys, the invitation was out there. You know what I'm saying? He showed up quickly last night when he was tagged. I want he didn't show up here today, but it is what it is. We got to keep on trucking. We got to keep on attacking each of these talking points in an accountable as well as a respectable way to make sure that we can cut through the noise. Okay, because we can't stop. All right, because for every one of y'all that are down into the sector right now, there's 27 other dudes that have no idea, and they're being set up for complete and utter failure. Okay, shout out again to all of the co-hosts that are down up into the spear. This is like a scene from 300. You know what I'm saying? Hold the line. At the end of the day, yeah, we're gonna keep on holding that line because I am convinced that this information, I get emails damn near every day from young men that are just like, yo, thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much for this information. Okay. Thank you so much for your financial information. I started here. I uploaded a community chat post earlier today that was speaking towards my growth so much or thus far from investing in money. And I got tutorials on this channel. That break down the barrier for entry, that show you exactly how to do it. Not only that, but a link to sign up because they have me in as approved affiliate to get you extra benefits of using that. So not only am I showing you how to do it, but I'm getting you extra benefits for signing up. That's what's happening over here. Young men in a 70% single mother, modern era, who grew up with a lack of male influence, have no idea to hold frame, have no idea to respond in logic, have no idea to behave themselves in a way that is deemed appropriate within their masculinity. They got to come over here and they got to see this information. You understand what I'm saying? So, oh, is he live right now? Wait, is he in here or is he live? Oh, he's live right now. It is what it is. Okay. Open. Okay. He's live right now. I thought he was in here. I got excited. I was like, oh shit, let's drop the link and let's open up this conversation. You understand me? So, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could get him in here next time and have a one-on-one conversation. So that's my thoughts. Those are my opinions. Let's keep on going forth and doing the things that we can to put the next one forward. We got to lift as we climb. All right. Questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Guys, for all of you that are interested in being to come into my inner circle where we talk about these subjects on a weekly basis, right? If you want to increase your value, hit up my Patreon. It's an investment into yourself to get around like-minded people that are focused on increasing their value, being better versions of themselves into the future so that we can put ourselves on a path of being more happy, more joyous, and more successful. Shout to it down to the building one more time. All right. It is made for men, but we make accommodations for women as well. There's a whole bunch of ladies that's up there that engage in the conversation. And I think that it's appropriate to do because at the end of the day, I think it's not good to be in our echo chambers, right? We got to invite opposite opinions to really understand, to not only fortify our arguments, but to bring them along for the ride. All right. Until next time, YouTube. Peace. All right. Hold on. Where my branding at? Where my branding at? Here we go.